What if you don't have or have no interest in like a big half-ton pickup? You've got something more like a mid-size truck and you still want to go camping. What kind of camper could you be looking at? Well, the good news is there's actually quite a few options out there. The trick is, how do you define what's mid-size towable? Because not every mid-size pickup has kind of the same capacities. Because if you look over here, this is a list of some of the more common and more popular mid-size pickups that are out there today. And you see that sometimes, whether they do or don't have a tow package, their capacities can vary by several thousand pounds, which can drastically change the kind of thing you look at. And there's also a whole world of like tow package SUVs that I'm not specifically listing out here today, but a lot of the campers on today's list that we're going to go through could also apply for, that kind of situation, like a tow package SUV. But I was having a really hard time trying to mentally figure out how to break this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 7,500 pounds maximum GVW or lower as a limiting factor here. Then we're going to take a quick like 2.5 minute flyby tour through a bunch of RVs. And as we do that, I'm going to list the GVW for each of those options and which of those kind of mid-size tow package pickups could potentially work for it. Now keep in mind, some of the entries on this list, like this is just going by math. This is not saying, well, here's what I think would be comfortable. It is all going to be legally safe, but some of these are really approaching a limit where like, even I'm like, I don't know that I would recommend that. Yes, it's within your safe towing rating, but something about it feels funny. But if we're just boiling down the GVW versus the tow rating, here's a bunch of different options that could go for you. I will also mention, I haven't investigated hitch weight rating versus the payload rating on the vehicle. So this list is not intended to say, if you own this truck, you can go get that camper. It's intended to give you an idea of what might work for you and where to begin investigating. All right, all that done, let's get rolling. Now, some of the stuff we're going to look at today are going to be couples campers, and some of them, like our very first entry right here, they're going to be bunkhouses. The first is our Apex Nano 208 BHS. The fact that this thing gives us double over double bunks and a true queen bed and a slide out at a 6,000 pound maximum GVW, I think is pretty impressive. What if somebody actually made a Bish's RV taking a look at like a cult following kind of floor plan. This is the 208 BHS Apex, and this thing manages in a narrow body to accomplish things a lot of 8-foot wide standard body campers just don't do. It gives us a 60 by 80 true queen bed, and you can choose either Murphy or non-Murphy version, but the way that they do it by like half folding up into something of like a day bed behind a potential jackknife sofa doesn't block the windshield. Have you ever seen, how many RVs have these Murphy beds that block the windshield? So it basically, it's eye candy from the outside, but it's a nearly completely non-functional item. You don't run into that here. Now this is an all aluminum skeleton. You have laminated roof, floors, walls. It's also a double Asdel product where they're using the Asdel on the inside and outside layers of the walls. But you might have noticed there's like a giant hole in the roof, and by that I mean the big Stargazer skylight that you can option into these. You're not forced into that. You can option into that. By default, it actually doesn't have that, in case you're a little spooked by it or just don't like it. I don't know. Maybe you don't want the squirrels peeking at you at night if you're hugging. I'm not sure. This has a little miniature camp kitchen, a full-up cargo bunk. It doesn't have a rear outside access door. I wish it did. But information like that, telling you here's what it does have, here's what it doesn't have, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be doing for you in this video to help you make the best and most educated decision possible. For the 23 season, they have significantly improved their solar package. That is one major thing I'm really happy to see. They now have a 30 amp charge controller instead of a 10 that was basically maxed out, and instead of a 100 watt panel, they have 200. And with that 30 amp controller, they could add some more if you were so inclined. So they've done some good bulking up there. And for a trailer this size, it's narrow, it's light, it's tandem axle, and we're looking at it in the like off-road version as they call it. I call it off pavement. But we're getting to see almost like every option possible on one of these today. Let me know what you think of this one as we go. Where did they nail it and where did they fail it? But if you're not looking for something for families, good news. Coachman's got another option for you, and it's actually very much on my personal favorites list. That's the 192 RBS Freedom Express. What I like about this one, it's just over 6,000 pounds maximum GVW. If you don't know what that means, that's empty weight plus maximum cargo. So that's the heaviest the trailer could possibly be. It comes in just under 6,100 pounds, tandem axle, but extra tall inside and with a true queen bed. It's a small, light camper that fits big American-sized people. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd at Bish's RV with some awesome updates on the 192 RBS Freedom Express. They were really paying attention last year. They took a lot of the feedback that folks have been offering off, videos like this, and they really applied it to this product. People said the interior's too dark. We don't like that dark wood tone. They lightened and brightened that up and gave it just a very kind of muted, natural wood tone. It just feels very almost log cabiny, warm and welcoming inside. But they redesigned their front end to vastly improve the storage around the bed. And previously, I always felt that the Grand Design imagined had some of the very best storage around the bed. I think Freedom Express might be threatening that because you've got double dresser drawers on both sides of the bed. You have doors above the bed that won't flop down on you because they will hold themselves open. You have hanging wardrobe towers on both sides of the bed. Now behind those, you finally have what I call headboard power pockets back there. And the thing is, this is a small camper that is weirdly good for bigger people for the most part. I'll get to that in a second. It is extra tall inside, 6'9" from floor to ceiling. That is a true queen bed. And overall, that's really nice for bigger people for daily comfort. The bathroom is where it gets a little tricky because it is a small RV and everything has to get squished down. The bathroom is probably going to be the biggest potential deal breaker or factor point for you in the camper because otherwise it's got impressive storage. It's got really solid counter space for no bigger than it is. A very large outside front pass-through. They're one of the original users of Asdel in the RV industry. The underbelly's enclosed and heated. You've got a solar package finally standard on these things, giving us some enhanced, extended off-grid or potentially battery tending capability, depending on the kind of camping you're looking at doing. They've made some smart updates, and I think you're gonna like it. I think it's the best generation they've had in 2 or 3 years. But you might notice a little bit of a trend with today's videos. For the most part, the units that I happen to like, that I would personally want to tow with a smaller vehicle, tend to come with tandem axles. Mostly because your ride and handling up in the vehicle tends to be better as a result. The trick is tandem axles tend to push that GVW outside of the range of a lot of tow package mid-size pickups. There's one single axle series that I don't mind, and that's the Ember series right here. And specifically, their 190 MSL, I personally think is like the coolest single axle camper, maybe ever. Hey everybody, we've got a brand new floor plan, a first look sneak peek here today, a model that was built based on your feedback, and the best part of it might be what it doesn't have. Stick around and see what your comments and your feedback have created because I think you're gonna like this. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV down at Ember RV today, where I was granted the very first look at their newest model, one that was built based on your feedback, the 190 MSL, the Missile. This is the very first no-slide, multi-function convertible storage Murphy bed, bunkhouse, cargo locker, walk-in closet, e-bike storage. I mean, whatever you want to do, this one can do. You want to load a kayak up the belly of this beast? You can do that. You want to load, like I said, a bunch of e-bikes in here? You can do that. Are you solo camping and looking for something you could use as a mobile office? You can do that. Do you have a family? You want to do some family camping? You can do that. Really, there's not a whole lot that you can't do with this one. Now, these are a very different breed of critter. It is a full aluminum and composite body construction. The only wood that you might find in the body construction is just where they might stuff the aluminum tubes with a little bit of wood just to give some screws to bite something into. But even the floor is completely composite. Like, the floor literally can't rot. The walls can't rot. The roof can't rot. And I'm not saying you shouldn't take care of it, but you're gonna have to really go out of your way to screw this one up right here. We have a true queen bed up front, which is another rare find in smaller single axle campers. These are also very uncommon in the world of small campers in that they are 0 to 100 degree proven. A lot of people like to ask, are they 4 seasons? There's no real definition of that, but the fact is Ember has actually done the testing for hot, cold climate use. You have Goodyear Wrangler off-road tires with factory TPMS. The independent Kurt trailing arm suspension that has suddenly started to be adopted by a bunch of other brands. We're also looking at one today with nearly every option available, including their new Max Solar package outfitted with all Smexy Pants Victron components. And we are going to get to see this thing inside, outside, upside down today. And I would really love to hear from you. What do you like? What would you change? And it's got a couple little hitches and it's giddy up. I've never said that any RV is perfect, but as far as these single axle overland models go, I think this might be their best one yet, and I am eager to hear what you have to say. And if we're just going by a 7,500 pound GVW or less, Rockwood or Flagstaff in the Mini Light or Microlight, which are the exact same things with 2 names. They have 3 good entries, and it's really hard to pick one from that list. 2104S is great. Murphy bed, big U-dinette. Maybe that works for you. The 2109S is very similar to the Freedom Express that we already looked at. But if we're going to say which of their models they make under 7,500 pound GVW I like the best, I think without question, for me, it's the 2205S, or I think Flagstaff calls it the 22FBS. I will also say, it is kind of starting to reach that size where I don't know that I would personally want to tow it with a mid-size pickup with a tow package, but according to the self-imposed restriction that we put there, it qualifies for today. Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd from Bish's RV up here in Coopersville, Michigan today, just outside of Grand Rapids, taking a look at a Flagstaff 22FBS, or as Rockwood calls it, a 2205S. 2 names for the exact same RV, by the way. Anyway, what does this RV have to offer? This is like a big brother to the 2109 Rockwood, which has a camp queen bed, which has a smaller front pass-through, which has just a jackknife sofa. This, by contrast, has a floor flush slide with a true theater seat or hide-a-bed or dinette option, a true queen bed, and a miniature drop frame up front, which gives it a huge outside storage compartment. Now, as a result, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, and a little bit more expensive, but you're getting a lot of bit more for it. They've also tweaked the entertainment center this year a little bit. I'd be very curious to know what you think about it. Personally, I like it. I think it makes the RV look and feel bigger and a little bit more countertop space. Maybe not for big appliances, but I could still find some kind of function for it. The RV is double Asdel, which is my way of saying Asdel layers on the inside and outside layers of the walls. They've upgraded to now a standard 15,000 BTU air, so you no longer have to upgrade anything like that. They give you different choices of exteriors and interiors, which is cool. So if you don't like the light bright method that we're looking at right here, light bright, I remember those. If you'd prefer it a little bit warmer, darker, and HOA brown approved, they make that too. Goodyear tires, factory TPMS, holding tank heaters, radiant barrier, factory solar, factory inverter, all kinds of stuff. Awesome travel access. There's really not a lot you can nitpick on this one. Some folks might not like the bathroom, I'll point that right out. And you might just prefer a private bedroom. They make models like that too. But let's hop inside, see what this one has to offer, and continuing to show you the good with the not so good, the points of concern, the whatever you want to call it. That's what we're gonna do for you, and if you like that, hit that subscribe button to get more fair info on these as we go. But in the last couple years, I've had the nice opportunity to get exposure and see a lot of brands that I just had never seen before. And one of those is Surveyor. And I think that they're a very underrated brand, a very underappreciated brand. They have several very good entries that could qualify here. If you're looking for something with bunks, they're 19MDBLE. Yeah, you know me. That is one of those things. I think it'll really get up there and compete a lot with that Coachman Apex with the bunks that we looked at earlier. But the 19SSLE, Surveyor Legend series, I liked it the moment I stepped inside of it. And it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because there's some things that it just doesn't do, but those are things that don't really confront me none, as George Thorogood used to say, because he was bad to the bone. But the fact that they gave us a walk-around bed and a seating slide and a dining bar, which I'm a sucker for, all under the GVW mark that we're looking at, that is pretty awesome. Hello and welcome everybody to Wakarusa, Indiana, and that is a real place. My name is Josh the RV nerd, and this is the 19 SS Surveyor Legend. I've never seen this model before, and people ask me, like, what do those letters mean? I think SS stands for Simply Stellar. They packed 11 pounds of sugar into a 5-pound sack in here. They cranked it up to 11. I'm gonna just start naming qualities, and you tell me if you like those, and they are all wrapped up in this camper. We have a true queen bed. We have a tri-fold sleeper sofa. We have less than 4,900 pounds of total max loaded weight, so this thing is light, is easy to tow. We have Asdel on the walls, we have 200 watts of solar, we have 12-volt tank heaters and a heated belly, we have tire pressure monitoring, we have surprising kitchen counter space, we have dedicated dining space, we have impressive storage and extra headroom in a bathroom. If you like all those things, you might like this camper. They managed to pack this into something that is like going to be a good fit for a lot of mid-size tow package pickups. That is, I think, a very neglected segment of the market, the one that everyone often refers to as the Ford freaking Ranger. But there's tons of mid-size tow package pickups that would handle this thing very readily that just can't handle something else, but maybe you want all those big RV features in a small package. Now, the trick is, every RV's greatest asset is also its greatest liability. By packing all of that stuff in there, this camper can sometimes feel a little bit cramped. But I do think it's important to remember, this is, I think, a solo or couples camper. It does have a tri-fold sofa if you're gonna have a guest or something like that, but it for the most part, it feels like just a me and you, or just you on your own kind of camp. Me and you, like you're gonna take me camping with you, I don't know. My point, though, is you don't have a whole family in it. You're not tripping over one another. Overall, I'm really impressed with what they packed in here, but this RV, without question, has at least one significant Achilles heel. I'm going to point all that out and more as we go. Let me know where you think they nailed it, where you think they failed it. Leave us some comments and let us know what you think about this one as we go today. And whenever I start making lists like this that are like limited by certain weight categories, a lot of times you'll start running into the same floor plan several times rapid fire. That's about to happen here. But in a way, it's cool that even in this kind of restricted weight category, you still have like choice and flexibility and options on how you want to spend your money. So moving on from Forest River to Grand Design, again going alphabetically today. You think the alphabet's in that order because of that song anyway? But the Grand Design Imagine 17 MKE has spawned almost a dozen at this point similar floor plans from other builders out there. And I give it credit really as the original. The amount of stuff it packs into the little bit of space it has on tandem easy riding axles, I think is terribly impressive. Now, I do want to also mention the footage you're going to see is from 2022. It's a bit aged. I got to get this updated, but this will give you a good idea.
Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV here with the 17 MKE Grand Design Imagine today. And I tell you, this is a winner, baby, right here. So it is less than 4,900 pounds dry weight on an easy towing short length tandem axle. You want to talk easy half-ton tow, potentially big packet tow package SUV towable? This thing all day long is going to get the job done. It gives us an amazing kitchen in a small space, which is something I really like. It is a Murphy bed model. They are very good about giving us a 60 by 80 bed on that though. Direct facing entertainment center with a theater seat. It checks a lot of the boxes that I'm looking for. Again, lightweight, laminated, easy cleaning, slip streaming fiberglass skin, enclosed, hot cold camp rated belly roof package, all kinds of good things going on here. Factory solar. Just a laundry list of big hitter qualities. This is the fourth time I've seen a floor plan like this from a manufacturer, and I'm sure that there's one or two that I haven't seen yet. This one definitely ranks right up there. I've seen it from Surveyor, from Transcend, this one's stick and tin cousin, from the East to West Alta, and now this Grand Design. I'm still kind of rolling around which one in my head is the favorite. This one's definitely getting some high marks for me. Maybe by the end of the video, as I've gone through it in more detail, I'll have a little better feel for which one I think has done it the best in this floor plan. But that doesn't mean that my word is the word. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think about this one? Tell me what you like. Tell me what you'd change, where they nailed it, where they failed it. And if you appreciate the fact that we give you fair information, showing you the good with the bad, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get going, because there's a lot to cover. I mean, that is 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound camper right there.
And remember how I said we're about to see the same floor plan done a couple times? Well, that floor plan we just looked at from Grand Design Jayco said, I like that. I think I want to build a version of that. And the thing is, they're both really cool. They both qualify for the list. They each do a couple things I like, and they each do a couple things I don't. I'd almost be kind of curious, after looking at this quick peek footage here, which one would you prefer? Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name's Josh, and this is our Coldwater, Michigan RV Superstore. Although we have these parked at most of our stores, this is the new 210 J-Flight. Previously basically known as the 212. This is the newer, lighter, less expensive version of that camper. Now, it is slightly different in a couple little areas, but I think as we go through this video, what you're going to see is everything that really matters is still here. Like, we've still got that 2+3 year warranty. We've still got the plywood construction that you expect out of Jayco's. They still have a good-sized power awning on this. A lot of RV brands, when they start making something a little more budget-friendly, you start getting these, like, ridiculous 8-10 foot awnings, like they shouldn't have even bothered putting the money into it. You still have that walk-on roof. They do go to a telescopic ladder mount on this one, so it is something where you may need to pick up your own ladder if that's something you're interested in doing, but some people prefer a removable ladder versus a fixed one. You've got the double propane tanks up front with the auto changeover regulator and the power tongue jack to kind of do the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to get tennis elbow hooking up your hitch, if you do it properly anyway. What's cool about this one, it is simple, easy, no slides, and it's shockingly light for its size. The maximum GVW of this, with fully loaded cargo and everything, tops out at 5,500 pounds. That is crazy light for something this size, and it opens it up to the to lighter duty tow vehicles that normally wouldn't be able to handle something like this. Not everybody has a Bigfoot Gravedigger monster truck, you know, so sometimes it's kind of nice to have that opportunity. But what's also cool about it, it gives us both a sofa and a dinette and some great window coverage in the back. It's also a little bit taller, which is nice in the shower, and has a bunch of other fun little features like a factory standard solar package now, which is chef's kiss. It's not perfect though. We're going to touch on the good and the bad. If you appreciate that approach, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. But if you noticed, so far, most of the entries on today's list have been laminated offerings, and there's a reason for that. Building something laminated is a really good way to get the weight down, and when you're on tandem axles and already, because the extra hardware, the heavier chassis, the extra axle that goes with a tandem axle design, you're already fighting against weight to try to get under the GVW mark that we're looking for. It can be tricky in a stick and tin camper. Thankfully, our Go Play series has a, I might be biased, I think a really good option here. Their 20 FPS couples camper. I really like it. It is all thriller, no filler. It's everything you need, nothing you don't. Nothing is ever done over the top in a way that you don't need. Now, we also have a no-slide family bunkhouse model in our Go Play series that would qualify for this list. But I thought we'd take a look at this one here today because, I don't know, I like it better. Hello everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV. Finally here with the 20 FPS Go Play. I've been trying to get my hands on one of these, and when I finally had the opportunity, originally it was outdated 2023 footage I would have been collecting for you, and I wanted to get you all the new updates on this because this is one that I think has actually evolved quite nicely. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to show you the original iteration. So what are we looking at here today? This is an RV. It's less than 24 foot tip to tail. It's just a little bit over 6,000 pounds gross vehicle maximum weight. So this is something that definitely, I think, comfortably qualifies for a lot of half-ton towability. Now, what's really cool about this RV, it is like the definition of what I call smarter class, not starter class, where it's not big, flashy, fancy, over the top, but it checks major boxes. And again, some of the updates that have been applied to this one based on your feedback on the Go Plays in general really hit home on this one. Like a bigger refrigerator last year, it was about a third smaller than what it is now, so the fridge has grown up significantly. These are also a little bit taller ceiling, which I really appreciate as a taller person when I get in the shower. This is carpetless and ventless flooring, so it's very easy to keep clean. And this one has absolutely fantastic traveling access. And as a tandem axle Go Play, we have also outfitted these now with a factory standard 15,000 BTU instead of the previous 13.5, and they now, instead of being solar prepped. They actually have a 200-watt solar package on the roof with a 30-amp charge controller. Now, that's not the kind of solar that's going to run an air conditioner, but it's a pretty solid battery tender is what it is, and it does have the capacity to kind of be daisy-chained and extended a little bit if you want a little bit more action right there. Now, the wind is picking up, so I'm going to step inside here, but there's a bunch of really good qualities on this one I'm looking forward to showing you, and it's got a couple hitches in its giddy up. Even though this is our exclusive branded trailer here at Bish's RV, I've never said I've seen the perfect trailer yet, and I really want to hear from you folks. Where did we nail it? Where did we fail it? How can we continue to improve this for you as we go? But it wouldn't really feel right looking at a list like this without taking a look at a product I think is built almost from the ground up to be like a mid-size pickup towable, and that's the Winnebago Micro Mini series. Now, some of them will exceed where we want to be, but their 2108 family of floor plans just you have a choice. They're all called 2108s, but you have a choice between like twin beds, a fixed walk-around bed, a Murphy bed, a sofa in the slide, or a dinette in the slide. So there's 6, and then they have the Flex Edition, the FLX package, which is a expanded solar lithium battery in big inverter Truma equipment package that doubles the amount of things we can look at. It's like when Subway decided they wanted to start toasting subs and they doubled their menu. It's basically what Winnebago did here. There are 12 significant variant ways you could get this, but the fact is they all come in 5,500-pound GVW or less on tandem, torsion, axles, and suspension, which is an amazing combination for good ride and handling, especially when you factor in these things are only 7 foot wide. So they're not going to like muscle a mid-size pickup around. If what you're looking for is some towing and going action for couples camping or solos, this is such a strong series. Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV and welcome back to the regular members of the RV Nerd Herd. My name is Josh, the RV Nerd, and behind us is a Winnebago 2108, and this is one camper that basically has 12 different iterations and variations, all of which are significantly different enough, I think, to kind of make or break it for different people. So the specific camper that we're looking at today is the Winnebago Micro Mini 2108 FBS. That's a front fixed bed with the dinette slide. But they also make this in the DS, which is a front Murphy bed. They also make this in the TB, which is a front twin bed. And all 3 versions of those, you can choose either a dinette in the slide, like we're looking at today, or a sleeper sofa in the slide. Actually, a trifold sleeper sofa, which is kind of cool. It even includes a nice little lagoon table for dining, but we're not looking at that today. So that's 6 different iterations right there. But now you can double that because these are all available in the Winnebago Flex Edition, the FLX, basically what a lot of people call Max Solar Package, but it's so much more than that. So today what we're going to do is just take a real deep dive in the 2108 FBS. Hopefully later in the year I get a chance to record 1 or 2 of those other versions, but this one floor plan, other than the, you can change the bed, you can change the seating, the one video here will apply to basically all of them. So it's a small, lightweight, tandem axle narrow body camper, which is a rare find, and they're running on torsion axles, kind of like a Rockwood or a Flagstaff. These are fantastic. Some of the best towing campers out there because they're not so big that they're scary. I've seen some people tow package mid-size pickups feel a lot better towing one of these versus something a little bit larger, and not everybody wants a single axle. This fits into a really small space in the RV industry, or rather an monitored space in the RV industry of people who are looking for small but classy with a lot of features. That's what you're going to get in one of these right here. Not necessarily the lightest weight, least expensive little guy, but something where if you're looking for more premium in a tiny package, that's 11 pounds of dynamite in a 5-pound sack. But you may have noticed when I first listed a bunch of mid-size pickups out there, several of them really weren't mentioned again after this because I feel some of them are just a little too restrictive for where I would want to be. For instance, I drive a Ford Maverick. It does have the tow package, so yeah, obviously I'm the big truck expert of the house here, but it tops out at a 4,000-pound tow package. I've had a couple folks who also have a Ford Maverick ask me, like, what can I tow with that? My answer is I don't know that I'd want to tow anything more than my lawnmower to the repair shop, and even then, not any more than I have to, but that's just me personally, because again, several of the entries on today's list are uncomfortably pushing the max capacity for some of those vehicles that are listed. So always use your head, use common sense, and our team can help you navigate things, because where you take the RV, if you're going through the mountains, if you're going across windy zones, that can totally change the equation a little bit here. So what can you tow with this? Like, what would I get? Now, you might notice shooting that Indiana Jones gap between the trailers right there. We're right up next to the road, so we might have some background noise. But that little stick and tin J-Flight in the corner, it's called a 195 RB. It's 3,995 pounds GVWR, technically just within the capacities of a Ford Maverick.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Bish's RV. Josh the RV Nerd here, right next to the road, so apologies if you're hearing some road-like background noise here. Hopefully we don't incite any kind of accidents with people rubbernecking at the campers. Anyway, today we're looking at the 195 RB J-Flight. This has been in their lineup for a long time here. And there's a lot of things like this where it's a single axle with a front bed and a rear bathroom, but normally you open the door near the front of the RV and you walk in right on top of the mattress. This one kind of does it a little bit differently, where they put the entry door in the back, and as a result that creates, I think, a little more kind of private, personal feeling front bedroom. And this is a front walk-around bed, which is actually kind of cool, instead of some kind of east-west corner bed that you got to climb over one another at night. Now, this is an awesome little size for solo camping, but it could definitely be a cozy couples camper if you're a little bit closer, like some kind of young honeymooners or something like that. A couple years ago, they finally increased the interior height on these from being like only 6'1" inside to 6.5 feet, so you can walk around inside of it normally. Although if you're my height, if you're a little bit over 6 foot or bigger, you're still gonna have to stand with your head in the skylight in the shower, but at least they do that. So many little builders don't give you a skylight in the shower, so you're constantly ducking whenever you're trying to bathe or anything like that. Carpetless, ventless, easy cleaning, pet friendly. That's normal on single axle campers. But they finally, based on your input, started putting shower surround paneling in this bathroom. And all I can say to that is it's about time. Now, there's some other good qualities, some other kind of downsides to this. We're going to kind of boil all that out. One of the major things I want to point out, though, is I don't think there's anybody that matches the warranty that Jayco's putting on their single axle little campers like these. If you're looking for something to get you started, but to like be able to be around for a while, assuming you take normal care of it, this would be a good place to start right here.
That, with the things that I look for in an RV, that's the thing that kind of suits me. But would I tow that with my truck? No, probably not. I wouldn't. And when people ask what would happen to the miles per gallon on that, they would go down a lot. You're definitely not going to expect better miles per gallon when you're towing anything ever, really. And by the way, if you have a more restrictive tow capacity, you need to look at a smaller trailer. I already have a whole video for things that are 5,000 pounds or less, very similar to what I did today out there, that again, it may not give you every option under the sun, but it might help give you a few things to maybe start knowing which rabbit hole to start going down and exploring. And on that note, if you have enjoyed how we've taken the time to put all this together for you, if you like seeing the different vehicles that kind of qualify for the different trailers like this, let me know. It's a little tricky to do sometimes, especially when it comes to like a half-ton pickup that could be anywhere from 4,500 pound rated to 13,000 pounds rated, depending on the equipment package. It's really hard to do that. But I felt today was a little easier because there's not as many equipment variances on all those things. So, and if you like what we're doing, getting you all these little quick, fast flyby videos, hit the like button on our video, subscribe if you're new with us and you want to see more of these things, because I have more. And remember, everything that we've seen today, I've got links in the video description for full video tours, as well as links to check pricing and availability. And things like that Surveyor or the Go Play, where I mentioned like there's multiple entries that could qualify. I'm gonna, if I remember, list all the different links to all the full videos down there so that you have more options and opportunities that you can explore. I hope this has been beneficial and helpful for you today. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.